Every member of the human race, irrespective of nationality, political persuasion, culture, or creed, is a consumer. And the need arises for those whose rights are infringed on in their use of products or services to be protected, which is part of what the recent World Consumer Rights Day 2025 was all about. That's our focus on Special Report.
Nigeria, a country peopled with multi-diversity of tribes, cultures, and languages in the urban and rural areas across the states, a developing economy rife with products and services akin to those in other parts of the world. Be it banking, finance, industry, agriculture, healthcare, education, and other sectors and subsectors. This marketplace of services, products, and opportunities runs lateral to encouraging a just transition to sustainable lifestyles, which is the theme for World Consumer Day 2025, to protect consumers. But as they say, different strokes for different folks. And in Abuja, the nation's federal capital territory, consumers share their stories.
Well, my experiences so far has not been that bad. Yes, we are trying in Nigeria in terms of the goods we produce. We are really trying. And, well, I won't say we shouldn't do more, and I won't say we shouldn't do better. We can actually do better, but we are not doing badly.
I think I buy a lot of things online and Nigerian based. So I have had challenges where I have bought things intact and then it didn't meet up, what I expected or what I saw online. And then to get a refund or to return it became a problem. So I think we should do better there.
There are so many things. In fact, what happens is not even an expiry date and all of that. Most of them go as far as manipulating the date, like changing the date just to suiting the current day. So it's at the time when you try to make use of the item that you discover that no, this is not how the normal one used to be. Now, another thing you need to also consider is that you approaching the consumer protection unit, the process of getting access to the any officer that could help you fight whatever that the challenge you have in terms of that particular failed or expired product. The time itself, the time itself has overtaken the whole event, where you will be tired of what exactly are you trying to do when you are spending about ×5 of the value of what you want to complain about in terms of transportation or consultation, and it's not encouraging at all.
And for Adamawa State, some consumers have their own experiences.
In any business transaction, the parties concerned should be carried along. But in Nigeria here, everything runs. They do whatever they want. So if we are saying consumers have rights, the providers of the goods and services that we consume, do they take our interests into consideration before doing anything? They don't. The goods and services I am satisfied with is the free air God gives to us. And I'm still going to boil down to the issue of NEPA, network service provider. I think 2-3 days ago, without notice, network disappeared, no apology. We were trapped in one village. There was no network in and out. And the people we needed to see to buy grains from, we were stranded. No notice, no apology. It's because we're in a lawless society. If it's abroad, you do that with people, they will sue the network providers.
At the moment, if you go to the banking services, particularly the new generation bank, their services is quite encouraging. While we still have some services in the old generation bank, still kind of analog. So you see, that's why you see most people prefer to go to the new generation banks where you can get your services very swift.
Nigeria is the only place where this polythene, you go to a shopping mall, they only give you polythene. You carry your things as you're leaving, the polythene is torn, and you lose your things and nothing happens. Somebody will just be saying, oh, sorry, you're not even careful. So you're being blamed.
Over to the country's 5th largest state in northeast Nigeria, Bauchi, consumers give their account.
An Uber driver would say, because I earned AC for you, so maybe, madam, leave this 100 naira for me now. It's left for me to tell you if I want to leave it or not. So I think we need to do better in this country, because at times we tend to blame the government, but we have to also ask ourselves the question, are we doing right and justice to all ourselves, the citizens of this nation?
We just came down, we discovered the food they gave to us was not to our standard. Though the waiter was complaining of that's their standard, yes, you know. We cannot eat food of 8,000 naira and I cannot get my value. So they apologized for me, let go. But I protested.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018, FCCPA, empowered the leading authority in Nigeria for consumer protection, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, to promote fair business practices and safeguard consumer interests. According to Consumers International, the 6th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly, UNEA 6, in March 2024, a resolution was passed on promoting sustainable lifestyles. In December 2025, UNEA 7 will be an important moment to assess progress of nations towards this goal and strengthen commitment to sustainable lifestyles. Sustainable living will be on the agenda in Brazil in November 2025. Paramount in protecting consumers is upholding the needs of consumers, making sustainable, healthy choices available and affordable, ensuring consumers' voices are heard in governance, and recognizing pathways to sustainable lifestyles. Similar goals have led to the establishment of consumer protection agencies in Nigeria. In Kano State, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has approved the composition of a Kano Consumer Protection Council. The Ogun State House of Assembly passed the Ogun State Consumer Protection Law to establish the Ogun State Consumer Protection Agency. The Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, LASCOPA, has been up and running and marked the World Consumer Rights Day 2025 in Lagos.
When they came up with that idea that we have banned single-use plastics, when you go to any of the eateries, because they will tell you that we can no longer give you that nylon bag, we will give you paper bag, and that this paper bag will cost you 250 naira or 300 naira. You will see that quite a number of us tell me you don't do it. When you use the paper bag today, you fold it, you put it inside your car. Tomorrow you go, when you are inside and they are punching, you tell them, don't punch the bag, I have it in the car, don't punch. You go back to your car, you pick the paper, and you come and you say, oh yeah, bring the food, I'll put it in the... And you use that paper bag, you use it as many times, changing the habits. So you see the correlation between consumer protection. You see the correlation between consumer activities and environmental sustainability.
The Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Abimbola Saliu, reiterates the commitment to protecting consumer rights.
One of the ways to show the importance of consumer protection is the establishment of LASCOPA, and then, we have laws that guide all this. You had testimonies here. LASCOPA, if you pay and you're unable to get, we have banks that are willing to refund their money. And don't forget, Lagos State was the first state to ban styrofoams. Remember, now other states are taking cue from us. We are so passionate about better livability for our people. Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu keeps saying that the essence of governance is to give good health and happiness to the people. That's what consumer protection is all about.
We had these business dealings with a car repair workshop, and we were billed, and we had a timeline for delivery, which was supposed to be within 1 month. That same 1 month ended up turning to a year and a half, with one excuse or the other. And then at the point, we just got so tired and, we felt, okay, let's, institute a legal, case against the company. Before my lawyer now suggested, okay, there's a Lagos State government agency, that protects consumers' rights, that we should escalate it to them. So, which we did. He did the documentation. We came for the meeting, and interestingly, within 1 month, LASCOPA compelled them to return the car. Not just, they returned the car, they changed the engine. They didn't just change the engine, they even gave a warranty. I've been cruising around with the car since. In fact, I had an issue with the car, immediately they returned it. Immediately they came back to fix it. They came back to fix it. That is the power of LASCOPA. And it's been amazing.
We realized that they've mixed up the results. We got the result of another patient. So I reached out to the facility, asking that they should send a correct result to us. But they were like, come to my facility with the wrong result and pick up the right one. The staff, just wanted to bury the issue. But unfortunately, they never knew LASCOPA would intervene. So, but the mediator told me that I'm entitled to compensation, and I got a 100,000 naira compensation.
So I paid a visit to the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, where the General Manager, Mr. Falabi Sholebo, shared information on consumer rights. From the least to the greatest, whether the corridors of power or the man on the street, everyone is a consumer. How does that encapsulate the functions of a consumer protection agency?
I think to a very large extent, there has never been an agency like this, and should I say in the Federation, apart from the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. However, this agency came about because of avalanche of complaints by members of the public, particularly Lagosians, about exploitation by service providers and other business owners when it comes to their rights as consumers. You can imagine where they're talking about no refund, where they're talking about goods bought on blah, blah, blah in their receipt that you don't get refund when you buy a product and the product is of substandard in nature, and tell you that that is how they bought it. So there's been an avalanche of complaints, and it's of necessity that there must be a consumer protection agency. This agency actually started way back the year 2000 when it was a unit under the Lagos State Minister of Justice, and it snowballed into being perfected by law. That was a 2015 law that actually created it as an agency on its own, that had its power to sue and be sued. And it actually commenced operation in 2018.
What are the complaints that you've encountered in the line of your duty, as far as whether it is unique or uncommon or it's new?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the most common one, if I can look into the book, is that of banking. A whole lot of people do make erroneous transfer. A whole lot of people do use POS. A lot of people do use ATM. And you discover that sometimes when they do erroneous transfer, banks will tell you that there's nothing they can do. But at this agency, we'll be able to recover for consumers in Lagos State when it comes to the issue of banking. We recovered over 37 million naira for consumers, either through erroneous transfer, ATM failure, or even the POS. And again, another one I can easily talk about is that of electricity. Every last Wednesday and Thursday of the month, the Eco Disco and Ikeja Disco must sit in our office to resolve matters for consumers in Lagos State. And from that alone, we've recovered from Ikeja Disco alone, we recovered for consumers 108,692,000. From Eco Disco, we recovered 29 million naira for them. So to show you that we see them, though, as stakeholders in this business of protecting consumers. So the cooperation is there because it's a mechanism of resolving cases between service providers and consumers.
Are there any models of consumer protection you admire in other countries, and why?
Yes, particularly I can say England, because for some people that goes there to do shopping and everything, or to buy stuff, you discover that peradventure you are not satisfied with whatever product. Even when you walk out of the store and there's a challenge with the product, immediately you go back there. Oh, do you want a replacement or do you want a refund? So we are modeling towards that direction so that not only will consumer have confidence in the manufacturer of the product or the service provider, vice versa, the manufacturer of the product or the service provider also should be ready to ensure that the consumers do get value for money and satisfaction, which is very important.
How can the consumer protection model be improved on in Nigeria?
Yes, I think there has to be a synergy between stakeholders in this business of protecting consumers. And we have stakeholders like the Standard Organization of Nigeria, the Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the police, and I tell you when I say the police, the Nigeria Communication Commission, even the judiciary. Because let me give an example of online transactions. A whole lot of people do buy product online. And at the end of the day, as a consumer, in as much as you have rights as consumer, you should know also that as a consumer, you have responsibilities. And this responsibility, one of which is very important, is a personal decision. It's a personal decision to know where and where to buy. And you, as a consumer, you must be very watchful. You want to buy a product online and they're asking you to pay before delivery. Ordinarily, it is not all. I'm not saying it is some, but not all people online that are into fraud. But to be on the safer side, and as a consumer, you must be very watchful. Someone you're buying a product from online and is insisting until you pay before delivery. And we at Lascopa are saying that you must insist on payment on delivery, so that even if you are going to be losing anything, it's going to be your money for delivery if you are not satisfied with the product. Another one is people that book apartment, hotels online. Sometimes, not all, what you see online may be different from what you will now see eventually when you get to the particular place. We've seen a whole lot of people coming here to report, particularly during that dirty December. We recovered a whole lot for people. Yes, we recovered a whole lot of money for people, because at the end of the day, when you pay, they will now tell you, you've paid already. They don't do refund. And we'll refer them to the law, to that section of the law that says that there's nothing like no refund policy. So when you say no refund, you are telling people that once you pay, irrespective of what transpired, you cannot get a refund. There's nothing like that. You can get a refund, you can get replacement, and peradventure, your money will be refunded back to you if your right as a consumer has been infringed upon.
Thank you so much for talking to us on Special Report.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Professor Uchenna Uzo is the Academy Director, Africa Retail Academy, Lagos Business School.
Let's begin with your assessment of the state of consumer protection in Nigeria.
So, consumer protection in Nigeria is evolving. If you consider one interesting finding is that the Nigerian consumer protection landscape is one of the most regulated on paper in the world. The Commission has a lot of stipulations. There are also a lot of other regulatory commissions monitoring different aspects of consumer protection. Yet, the paradox is that most consumers in Nigeria still have very little access and are even largely ignorant about their rights. So I'll give you the statistic, which data shows that 5 in every 100,000 Nigerian consumers have reported cases to the FCCPC in 1 year. What this suggests is that the level of ignorance is astronomically high. The other interesting piece of finding from a study done by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group is that only 26% of Nigerian consumers even know that there's a regulatory commission that is concerned about protecting their rights. What all this points to is the fact that there's a lot of work to educate. There's also a lot of work to do about building trust, because the Nigerian consumers don't yet trust regulatory commissions to do their work effectively. And I think this is a huge opportunity that is waiting to be tapped.
Why do you think Nigerians need the most protections? In what areas and what can be done?
The first area where Nigerians need the most protection is in the area of product and service quality. So let me explain what I mean. In Nigeria, the service expectation of the average Nigerian consumer is way up there. But then when you compare that with the service delivery standard of the average Nigerian business, we are way down there. So there's this gap which needs to be filled. A lot of businesses still believe that they are doing the Nigerian consumers a favor by selling products and services to them. And this is where the Regulatory Commission can do a lot of work to re-educate, to even influence a lot of businesses to adopt professional standards that go for high quality, so that our different businesses can offer quality at scale in a scalable way all over Nigeria. The second area is in privacy. We know what is happening with data privacy all around the world, and Nigeria is not left behind. There are regulations now that prevent businesses from sharing third-party data or openly sharing data from their consumers that they have collected. But what is the extent to which the average business is keeping to these requirements is what we need to look into. So data privacy, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence and digital, the whole digital world, is going to make data privacy a bigger issue. The third area, which there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and in this area, the Commission is already trying to do something about this, is in pricing. So in certain industries and among certain businesses, there's what is called unfair pricing going on, where businesses just increase prices at will and pass on the cost of doing business to their target customer. Now, this is an area where the Commission can do a better job of guiding these businesses. Nobody is saying that we shouldn't increase prices when we need to, but the way and manner in which the prices are increased, the way the process is managed, even the way the price increase is communicated can go a long way to reassure the customer, can go a long way to demonstrate empathy, and can go a long way to add greater value to the customer. So these, in my view, are three key areas where consumers need a lot more protection at the moment.
Thank you so much for your insight, Professor Uchenna Uzo, the Director, Africa Retail Academy, Lagos Business School. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Civilizations are built on law and order and sustained by protection of rights, which includes that of the consumer. For Special Report, I'm Olumide Mokoli. Thank you for watching.